Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Erica, and in today's video, I'm going to be putting an eye look together with a new palette that I have in my collection that I got for my birthday on July 12th, and this is the Melt Muerte palette. Oh, it's so pretty. I love the packaging. Isn't that cool? So fun. And when this palette was first released, I really wanted it, but for whatever reason, I didn't get it. So I begged and pleaded and almost cried to my husband to buy this for me for my birthday. And he finally caved in because he's not someone that really buys me makeup because he thinks I have too much, because I do. And this is such a beautiful color story. Now, I did swatch this shade right here called Calica, and it kind of crumbled on me. I don't know. I just like swatched it. And it was like, I don't know. I pulled a lot off the pan and then it was kind of crumbly. So I don't know that I'm going to use that shade today. If I do use it, I think I'll pop it like under my brow. But what I really want to do is focus on this half of the palette. These shades are gorgeous too, but for whatever reason, I'm just really gravitating towards this side of the palette. And if you guys would like to see me do another look with this palette, let me know, because I would love to do that. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is use this shade here called Noche Eterna, this one here called Lagrimas, I think is how you pronounce that. And then I'm going to use these two shimmer shades, Angelito and Katrina. So what I'm going to do is start off with this shade right here called Noche Eterna and put that in my outer V into my transition area. And I am going to be using one of my Blend Bunny brushes, and this is a B4. My brows are done, and this eyelid is primed in the P. Louise eyeshadow base in Rumor 01. Okay, so let's get started here. And is this creasy? No, not too bad. I try really hard to get that really tamped down so that it's not super creasy when I start my looks. But P. Louise is kind of one of those things where if you don't start working right away, it's going to get kind of creasy, which I know I've already mentioned that. So, but it's fine. I mean, I really, really enjoy using this primer. I think it's absolutely amazing. It's my favorite eyeshadow primer. This and the Queen Nubia Cosmetics eyeshadow primer are my favorites. I do have a little friend that showed up this morning right here. I'm calling her Esmeralda. I woke up with Esmeralda visiting this morning. And I really don't know why I am getting that she's hanging out here, but I'm ready for her to pack her stuff up and leave. It's really not that bad, but it could get worse. I don't know, we'll see. But I've been doing a really good job with my skincare lately. And normally when I don't do a good job with my skincare is when people like Esmeralda show up on my head, face, whatever. But I will say that I have been under a little bit of stress lately. And usually stress will do that to me too. This is a gorgeous shade. I really like this. Very pretty blue. It's not as blue though on my lid as it is in the pan. It's kind of like getting a little bit murkier because I think probably my undertone to my skin. I have that kind of weird golden undertone that kind of murks my shades out sometimes. So I think that's more of what's going on here. But it is a really pretty shade and very pigmented. Melt mattes are very pigmented. Absolutely. I do have the Amor y Mariposas palette that my dear friend Andy does stuff. She sent that to me last year for my birthday. I have used that in a collab video with Kimmy, my Kimmy Poo. And then I do also have the She's in Parties palette from Melt that Andy and I collabed with. And that was really, really fun. Both of them. Both of those palettes were really fun, are really fun, not were, they are. And the collabs I've done with the palettes have been really fun too. Work has been pretty stressful. I mentioned in, I think, my Forward Looks video that we have opened up our first floor clinic now. So we did have some tech folks come and get the internet stuff all set up for the first floor and the fourth floor. And that happened last week, towards the end of last week, Thursday and Friday, on the floor that I'm on, which is the fourth floor. And I think that looks really nice. So now I think I'm trying to decide if I want to use this shade or that shade. Can you hear Bitsy out in the hallway meowing? Poor baby. She just can't come in here with me because she'll be all over everything. I think I'm going to go to this shade. This is called Lagrimas. Probably not, but that's as close as I'm going to get to being able to say it right. And I think what I'll do is use this brush right here from AliExpress and go around the edge of that. Bitsy, mommy will be done in just a little bit, honey. Go lay down with Reggie. She doesn't really like Reggie, so that's probably not going to happen. She's like, I'm not going to go lay down with Reggie. I can't stand him. They don't get along very well. Anyway, so because Reggie's a total pain in the butt with her. He just, you know, he thinks he's the alpha male, so he's always got to like bug the crap out of her. It's so irritating. Anyway, for her. I mean, I just am like, knock it off, you two. Okay, back to my work story. Oh, this is gorgeous. This, oh, yeah, I'm totally digging this. Wow, this is so pretty. We have the internet now is all set up. It was set up on Friday when the guy left. You know, everything was working fine. It seemed to be working fine anyway. And go to work Monday morning, everything's great. You know, the internet's working, everything's all connected. People are able to get into their telehealth appointments, the clinicians and the clients. I'm like, okay, rock on. And at about 3:30 in the afternoon on Monday, the internet goes out. Just boom, done. And I'm like, what happened? Now, not only is everybody hooked into that internet, obviously, but our phone system is also hooked into that system. So our desk phones aren't working. We do have our app that we use for our phone system hooked to our cell phones as well in case there's an emergency, which doesn't really happen very often, but it has happened. So we were still able to use our phones through our cell phones, but not at our desks. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? So now I am going to go back into Noche Eterna and just put a little bit that back on because I took a lot of it off. That's pretty common for me to do. So, of course, the clinicians that are in the office now have been disconnected from their telehealth appointments. So they come flying out of their offices and they're like, I lost my connection. I'm like, I know, the internet's down. And they're like, well, can you go into the system and at least give me my client's telephone number so I can call them and we can continue the session on the phone? And I'm like, I can't get into the system because the internet's down. You know, I'm frantically texting my boss because she wasn't in the office on Monday. And like, what do I do? What do I do? And she's like calling me back. She's like, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, I have no idea because I have the tech savvy of an aardvark. So anyway, she reaches out to our corporate office, which is in Florida, and lets them know that like we have now lost connection on the 4th floor to the internet. 1st floor is fine because it's 2 separate systems. And so this tech calls me and it's like, I don't know, 4 o'clock, and I leave work at 4:30, and I'm going to leave work at 4:30 no matter what. You know what I mean? Like I really want to have that work-life balance. Not that I want to leave my office in an uproar because the internet's out, but you know, I'm off at 4:30, man. So anyway, really nice gentleman. And he's like looking around at everything. We're on a FaceTime call. And he's like, I have no idea why this isn't working because everything is hooked up the way it's supposed to be. And now I have this weird edge. So you know what? Actually, I think what I'll do is use a different brush, a plain, nothing on it brush. This one right here. I know it looks stained. It's clean. Or it is stained. It's clean. I'm going to go around the edge of that just to kind of blend that a little bit better, but not add any more additional product because I don't think I need any more additional product. So he's like, I have no idea why this isn't working. So we did some troubleshooting things. None of it worked. So he's like, oh, okay, well, I said, I'm out of here at 4:30. So he's like, well, you know, I'm going to call your internet provider and see if maybe they had an outage on their end. So I leave, I come home about 7:30. My boss texts me and she says, I hate to bother you at home, but we do have a tech that'll be calling at around 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So make sure you're there, which of course I will because I'm there by 8 o'clock, although I'm late a lot. I love that. That is so pretty. So now I'm going to use this shade here called Katrina towards the latter half of the lid. And then I'm going to use Angelito on the front half of the lid. And this might be a very predictable look with this palette, but you know what? That's just what I'm doing today. This is what I'm feeling. So I get to work Tuesday morning. The tech calls at 9. He then asks if we can do like a Teams type meeting. My boss is also with me, which was wonderful because she's got a lot more tech savvy than I do. And we're FaceTiming, or no, we weren't FaceTiming. We were Teamsing with my camera that's hooked to my computer. And he's looking at everything, and he's like the main one that like set all this stuff up to begin with. And he said, the wrong modem is hooked up. He's like, the tech hooked up your old modem, not your new one. So what happened was about 3:30 was our old internet provider cut us off because, you know, we don't need them anymore. But everything was hooked into that modem. Jeez. Kind of a bonehead mistake of the techs, you know, and I could tell that the tech that I was talking to, I think was his boss. He was not real happy with it. He's like, wow, great. So anyway, we basically just picked up the right modem that was in the closet that's in my office. All this stuff's in my office. and hooked it up and everything was fine. So that was great. And the tech that I happened to be talking to on the phone on Monday, he just didn't realize that, that was the old modem. He just had no real understanding of that, which, he was just coming into this completely blind. That is gorgeous. That shimmer shade is beautiful. Oh, I love melt shimmers. This one just made me nervous. I was like, why is it falling apart? So I don't know. Let's go into Angelito and put that towards the front part of the lid. And let me grab another brush for that. I'm just going to use one of my C-color brushes here. And this is such a beautiful green shade. Oh. I thought initially that I would do like blues and reds together and stuff. And I don't know. I just thought, we'll just do blue and green. It'll be fun. So if you guys want to see more looks with this, please let me know, because I can do that. Oh, this is beautiful. And this brush really isn't jiving that well, I don't think, with this shade. Well, let's keep going and we'll see what happens. Oh, that is so pretty. Oh, I love that green. Oh, that is so pretty. Although this brush is not really, what I might do actually is clean this brush off that I used for the Katrina shade and just use it for the Angelito shade too, because I don't know, that was just not really picking it up. This seems, well, maybe it's the shimmer. It seems kind of like very hard pressed. It almost looks like it's starting to hard pan. I hope not. Oh boy. Okay, let's try this again with this brush. Oh yeah, that's better. Okay, cool. Yeah, that brush for some reason just wasn't picking up the shimmer very well. And I'm gonna just kind of layer this over the top of the Katrina shimmer shade, just to kind of make sure that those are nicely kind of morphed together here. But oh, that is a beautiful shade. Oh, I really do like this eye look a lot. This is fun. Yes. Oops, almost dropped the palette on the floor. I do that every so often. Like I'll be right in the middle of putting my eyeshadows on and something just bam on the floor. I usually edit that part out because it's usually pretty loud and obnoxious. I know most people are probably like, shut up. But my point in telling the whole work story thing is that when I get stressed, I will get zits on my face. It's always been how I've been since I've been a kid. Stress, poor diet, which my diet's been really good lately. I've been doing pretty good on my raw food diet. Just that's basically all I'm eating is like fruits and vegetables with some meat for dinner. I do eat either steak or chicken or hamburger patties. Boring, but it's working. I feel like I'm, maybe lost a little bit of weight, not much, but a little bit. This looks funky to me right there because I always do that. I always have that weird edge right there. So I'm going to just go in with this brush again and just kind of try to fluff that out a little bit. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. I don't know. I just always struggle with this part of my eye look every time. Every time. So now I'm going to go back into Noche Eterna and just add a little bit of that back out in the outer V. And just kind of take this up just a little bit over Katrina and just kind of, I don't know, blend that a little bit better. I don't know what I'm doing. Doing something here. But yeah, this is freaking gorgeous. I love it. I will say that the Katrina shimmer I liked better than Angelito. I felt like Angelito was a little bit hard pressed and not as easy to get onto the brush as Katrina was. But it is a beautiful tone. It's a beautiful color and it's very shimmery, very pretty. But just not as easy to apply as Katrina was, I felt. And I do want to go back in with my AliExpress brush and just go around, take that edge off a little bit. Just blend that a little bit more. Oh, this is so fun. And I have some shimmer that's kind of hanging out right there. Let me get that off there. Okay, there we go. I had a little balled up little chunk of shimmer. And I think what I am going to do, though, I'm going to try this and see if this works. I don't know. This might be a mistake, but I think what I'm going to do is take the Calica shade and put that just a little bit under my brow because I think that would look really pretty. I just hope that it doesn't look too weird. It just seemed like a very strange consistency of a shade. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it just wasn't. Oh yeah, that looks good. Okay, calm down. It's fine. I just thought it was going to look maybe a little funky, but I don't know. I like it. Looks pretty. Just add a little bit of that in right here. And then I will use that as an inner corner shade too. Heck yeah. That is so nice. I don't know, maybe I pushed on it too hard. I don't know. I try to be pretty soft or gentle with my palettes when I'm swatching them, but I don't know. Maybe I just went a little too Schwarzenegger on it. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I think that looks really pretty. I like that. I do have some stuff to clean up down here. So I'm going to go clean this up, lower lash lines, other eye of my face, and deal with my hair, and I will come back. This is the finished look, and I love how this look turned out. I love that eyeshadow palette. There were a couple things I wasn't maybe super thrilled with, and I'll talk to you about that as I wrap up this video. But for the most part, really loved how this look turned out and loved the shades that I used. I know that I did more of a predictable look with this palette today, but I still think it turned out really nice. So let me show you just a few things I put on my face for my finished look before I wrap up the video and talk to you more about the palette. On my lips, I do have a gloss from Ladybug Glow. This is in the shade number 34. It's a peachy sparkly gloss, and I just thought it would look nice with my eye look, so I grabbed it out of my bin today, and I love it. And then for my lower water lines, I did use a ColourPop cream gel liner in the shade Catsuit. I just thought this was a nice kind of bluey green shade to go in my lower water lines. This works so well. And then for my upper lid liner, I did start off with this. This is the ColourPop BFF felt tip liner in Crazy. It's a blue liner. It's so pretty. But I think this is already running out of product, which kind of stinks because I haven't had this for, well, I've had it for a while. Haven't used it a ton, but I've used it a handful of times. So I did use a shade from the palette to kind of go over the top of this just to make it stand out a little bit more. I'll talk about that in just a minute. And then for my mascara, I did use my Nobu Cosmetics Nobu Lash Mascara. Yes, I did. I love it. So now let's talk about the Melt Muerte palette that I used for this look today. Gorgeous packaging, and this color story is just stunning. This shade right here that I used in my outer V and in my transition area and also on my lower lash lines, I loved it. Very pigmented. It applied easily. It wasn't patchy. The only downfall for me, though, is that kind of golden, weird, murky undertone to my skin, because it did kind of take this really true blue and made it more, I don't know, grayish in appearance, maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe that's just all in my head, but that's kind of what I was seeing. This shade right here called Lagrimas, I think is how you pronounce that. Absolutely gorgeous. Very pigmented. It worked really well with this shade here. Beautiful. I love it. I think out of the mattes I used, this one was my favorite. I also popped a little bit of this on my lower lash lines as well underneath this shade. These two shimmer shades, this one here called Angelito and this one here called Katrina. This one was my favorite. Absolutely gorgeous, very deep, very sparkly, applied very well, gorgeous. This one right here, I had to really dig into the pan for this eyelid, really dig into it. And once I really dug into it, then it was a lot easier to apply. I actually went back over this lid with the shade again as well. I don't know if there's like maybe a overspray over the top of this shade. I don't know. But at first I thought, oh my gosh, I'm gonna hard pan this, but I didn't. It's not hard pan. And it worked, like I said, much better on the second eyelid. This shade right here called Calica. Obviously I did use that under my brows, and then I also put it in my inner corner, and that worked really well. But I will say, I was really nervous about how this was gonna perform, because when I swatched it, a big chunk of it kind of like came out on my finger and was kind of crumbly. And I thought, oh my gosh, is that shade like gonna fall apart? But no, it's fine. I don't know. I just wasn't really expecting that, I guess. But it worked so well under my brows, in my inner corners, and I really want to try all the rest of these shades in here. So please let me know if you would like to see me use this again on my channel, because I would love to do that. So all in all, I really love this palette. It's gorgeous. Everything worked really well. It just took a minute for the green shimmer Angelito to kind of warm up and do more of what I was hoping it would do. But it did, in the end. It was a total champion. So let me know if you have this palette, if you've had it in the past, or if you just got it when it was re-released. I would love to talk about that in the comment section. I know my friend Dawn just picked this palette up too, and I'm really excited to hear what she thinks about it. So Dawn, if you've used this now, I think you said you were going to use it, let me know about that in the comment section. And I'd love to know what you guys think of this look. And I know I've said this, I'm going to say it one more time just to make sure you really get it. If you want me to use this again on my channel to create more looks with it, let me know. I would love to do that. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your lives to sit down and watch this video. If you're new here and you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing, smash the like button, and of course, comment down below in the comment section. Love to chat with you guys there. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I cannot wait to see you guys again in my next video. But in the meantime, please take very good care of yourself. Be well, safe, happy, and I'll see you soon. Bye!
Drop it.